All right, good morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. Today we're out in the shop. Ran into a unique situation yesterday and it got me thinking about making a video and with some good content for you on how to save money and also how you can make a little bit if you want to on the side, and I'll explain to you how. What did I run into? I had a toilet that would not flush correctly at all. And it had been acting up, for a little while, and I was having problems with the sink in there. It drained in the bathroom, but it drained very slowly. So I knew it had a bunch of gunk in there and it was plugged up, and I had the time yesterday. So I went out to Lowe's, and Home Depot sells them too, of course, and I bought this to start off with. This is the Fluid Master. It's an all-in-one repair kit. All-in-one, except for it doesn't have the tank bolts, where if you have a two-piece toilet, and I'm not talking about the molded all in one, like Kohler makes some of them that are all porcelain and the tank is not removable. On mine the tanks are removable. So those tank bolts, I bought an extra package in case I need them, in case the little rubber seals leak. But I buy Fluid Master whenever I need anything. Whether I'm looking at replacing just the flappers or anything like that, it's all right here on the box. But this was an all-in-one kit because I thought I'm going to gut this toilet. There's a problem somewhere in how this flushes, and it's not just a clog or a plug. So anyway, it took about, I would say, an hour and a few minutes or whatever. You drain all the water out, you take the tank off of the back of it. That's a whole nother topic, but I did use this. But what's the point of the video? After I replaced this, I still had, with that toilet, I still had an issue of it flushing correctly. And I thought, okay, well, I know now it's filling up correctly, which it wasn't before, so that part was fixed. And I've still got, something that somebody's flushed down there. Who knows what it is? I would have no idea. And I knew I had to unplug it. Now there are 3 items. I'm going to show you one by one, and we'll switch inside in a little bit. I'll show you the ads, I'll give you the links, because if you were to call a plumber out, or even Roto-Rooter, or whatever your roto-rootering company is where you live, like my neighbor said, it was easy over $100 because there's a service charge right off of the bat, plus they charge you for the first full hour usually. So unless you got a handyman that's doing it, cheaper for you, and we'll discuss that in a little bit, it is kind of a costly thing. So I'm going to show you 3 items that you can buy and keep in and around your house that will save you a lot of money, and they're very simple to use. And the first time you use it, actually, if you think about what I was just saying, you've more than made your money back. So let's say it's $50 and under in total for these 3 items I'm going to show you, and your bill for calling one of these realistically was $100 or more. You easily saved 50%, and you will save a ton of money going forward, because when things start to drain slow or they begin to have a problem, I'm going to show you how to quickly rectify it. Now, with the toilet, when the toilet seats onto the floor, it has a wax ring there. So you don't want to put anything in there that's going to create like a high amount of pressure, because it can actually make that wax ring begin to leak where it sits on that flange. So the first item that I bought, and I have this I had this years and years and years ago, it's a toilet auger, and this is what it looks like. I'll show it to you here. And this part right here is what you'd stick down into the toilet, and then there's a handle here. It goes all the way up to here. I have it pulled back. You would start to extend this and turn the handle here. As you do, this thing has an augering kind of an action, and it will break loose that clog or free whatever is hanging up in that pipe. Okay, now I got the longer one, and I'm going to give you the specs in a little bit to show you. And this has a handle on the back right here. This is where you would turn it, and as you turn it, it's augering its way through whatever that plug is, hopefully, or that clog. So I ran this down there, pulled it out, boom, toilet flushes like $1,000,000. So I solved that problem, and I thought, hey, great, okay. So that right there will not only save you money at home each time you have to go use it, thinking about what they would charge you, to come out and free something like that up. And it's going to take them like that to do it, and you're going to sit there and go, wow, look at this whopping bill for something that only took this guy 5 minutes or less to do, and you could have done it yourself. If all you bought was that, it's in the $20 price range. Like I said, we'll have a discussion inside in a minute, and I'll give you the advertisement. Okay, the second item up. Okay, now with the sink. Okay, now there are two things that I use on sinks, and you have to again be careful. I mean, how you're using these things, and I'm going to show it to you. This right here is like a fat zip tie. Okay, and what it does is, if this is the pipe in your sink, you know, and here's your sink hole, and it's draining slowly. If you slip this down in, and you go slip it all the way down, and you twirl it, or you just go up and down, and you do that at different angles, you know, depending on how your sink is, it will fit through there. It can also fit through the bottom of like a shower or a lot of different things. It's not a perfect tool for everything. I've had this one for, I don't know, close to a year now, and I keep it in under the sink in the bathroom. Well, why? Well, because I've got kids, and you know, they're older, and they're in there brushing their hair, and they're shaving, and you know, and I've got the girls in there, and they're doing the same thing, and they're just washing everything down the sink. And so after a while, it begins to drain slowly. I reach under the sink, pull this out, zip, 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 zip. And most of the time, not 100% of the time, but most of the time, because these are the long ones, and I'll show you when we flip over to the description on what to buy, or what I feel you should buy. These will get down, and where you have that P-trap, I mean, it actually will get in there, and that's a lot of times where those clogs occur. Not, like I said, not all of the time. Now, there was one more instance, and it's not a costly thing to buy. I buy these, you know, I call them bladder unplugging things that you can put on a hose. And we'll discuss that, because I'm going to give you the same thing. Now, I have two of them. I got them off Amazon. One I got off Amazon. I think the other one I either got off Amazon or I bought it out at Home Depot. Okay, this is like a bladder, and it has this little jet hole here in the front, this stream of water, because you're going to hook a hose up to this end right here, and then you turn the hose on full blast. Now, just before you do that, you take this end here, here's the pipe, let's say, and you're going to wedge it into this pipe. Wedge it in there the best you can. Then turn on the water here, and what this bladder does is it inflates against the pipe, and then it creates pressure, hard pressure going forward. Now, somebody said, well, couldn't you blow apart the pipes? Well, I suppose depending on how high and how much pressure you have, in theory, I suppose you could. I haven't had that problem. I turn it on, it blows the plug free, hopefully, or that clog, and then it's just water, you know, shooting, you know, through the pipe. So I'm not so sure. I suppose it could, but I've never had that problem. So this is real handy. Now, the second one I have, and this is only good for certain size pipes. We'll talk about that inside. Now, the second one I have, this one, it's got a cloth material, and this one will actually do the same thing, and it inflates larger, okay? So I did that because you have different sized pipes, you know, in, you know, the standard construction of your house, and, you know, so you never know what you're going to run into. But these four items right here can save you a hell of a lot of money by not calling somebody, and it can make you money, because after you use them a few times, when your friends, neighbors, and other people like me, I did this a couple of nights ago. You know, I was on my way home from whatever I was doing, and somebody called me and they said, hey, is there, you know, any quick fix? Can I pour some liquid down, you know, the sink in my bathroom because it's draining so slow? Now, these items, a lot of them, I just carry them with me, you know, in the Jeep. Now, you know, in the car that I have, the Jeep. So I had two of them. I had the bladders, and I had, you know, that one that I just showed you. And, you know, so I said, hey, look, I'll just stop by and I'll fix it for you. And they said, well, you know, if you can come by, when can you come by? And I said, I don't know. And they said, well, can you come by, you know, soon, because blah, 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 and they'll pay me and all this good stuff. I said, yeah. I skated by. I was in and out of there in 5 minutes. They gave me $40, which was fine. I didn't, you know, I'm not trying to make a living off of it, but it was a fast way to pick up a couple of extra bucks. I was going by, you know, that way anyway. So, and I've used these tools a multitude of times to make money on the side, because it's fast, it's easy to do. I charge about 3/4 or so, give or take, on what that roto-rooter service and plumber would charge. People are more than happy, you know, they save a little bit of money and you're in and out quick. Now, let's switch over inside. Let's talk about each one of these individually. I'll tell you how to buy them. And again, I would suggest you seriously consider it because it will save you money. Even if you don't do anything on the side, it's going to save you money in the long run. All right, I will see you inside. Okay, folks, so we switched over to inside, and I brought up the first advertisement here. This one's made by Rigid. And why would I buy this? Well, Rigid is a damn good company, and everybody's familiar with Rigid. It's this type that I would buy. I mean, no matter what you select, I'm just telling you, I think that this deal at 2608 ships prime is a good deal for this Rigid auger. And you look at the one here, you know, to my right, this extra long drain thing, and you think, wow, I can get that for $9. It's not a good one. It's not at all. I had a neighbor that had one, and it's just kind of junky, really. I would tell you just add the additional money and buy the good one. Keep it in the closet out in your garage. You won't regret it the first time that you use it and save a lot of money. So this is the first one I wanted to talk about. A couple of fast questions. We'll switch over to the next one. How long is this? I bought the one that's 6 feet. Why? Because it goes through the S curve, you know, that's in that toilet, that porcelain toilet, and it fits in there real easily. You just begin to fit it in, like I said, out in the garage, and you start to twist that handle, and it will go right in. Now, they make a 3-foot one. Yeah, it should clear the toilet. One of the remarks, you know, in the forum is, hey, why buy the 6-foot one? You can buy the 3-foot one, and it will go down through that S curve and yada yada yada. Here's my opinion. I got the 6-foot one. It will go through the S curve in the toilet, and it will continue to travel down until it gets into the sewer pipe. I mean, so, you know, you get a little bit more oomph, you know, if the clog is farther down. I mean, the majority of the time, yeah, the plugs are going to be, you know, in that S curve. I don't disagree. But for a few extra bucks, I mean, come on, man, just get the 6-foot one and call it done, because I feed this thing when I unplug a toilet all the way down, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it is that I do, and crank the hell out of it. And I know that for 6 feet from, you know, where you begin, it's been totally clear. I just think it's a better value, the 6-foot one. The other question is, well, how do you do this? Well, I just explained it. I mean, you feed the tip of it, you know, into the drain hole in the toilet and just start advancing it by pushing down and turning the handle. That's all you got to do. It's very simple. After you do it one time, you know, it's no big deal. It's easy. Okay, let's switch pictures. Let's talk about the other ones. Okay, so let's talk about these hair drain unclogger, you know, plastic tools or whatever. In this case, this is about the best value I found, you know, on Amazon. You get a 5-pack of these. It's $6, a little bit more than $1 a piece. You got backups and extras. I mean, but I've had the same one for what, almost 2 years now, and I keep them under the sink, like I said, in the bathroom. And when it starts to drain slow or there's an issue, you know, I just send this thing down in and around, you know, that cover or whatever that's on the bottom of most sinks. Or you can lift it out of there and you can just, you know, go ahead and snake out that drain real easily, real fast. So whether you took that cover off or whatever you did, this will get out a lot of hair and crap. And so at 19, you know, 0.6 inches, like it says right here, these are the ones that I own. They do make longer ones. I don't have those. 19.6 is fine to get down through the, you know, the beginning of the hole in the sink and through that P-trap that I was telling you about out in the garage. I mean, and they work great. And it's a fast fix. You're talking about 1 minute, 2 minutes, I mean, of using this tool, and all of a sudden your drain is open and it's, you know, it's clearing out fine, and you're gonna save yourself money. Okay, so this is definitely a suggested thing I would tell you for the price. I mean, you can't really beat it when you look at the price per unit. Okay, let's talk about the bladders. Okay, so this is the bladdered one, the one that I keep saying it's got a bladder. Okay, it's made by GT Water Products, Drain King, Unclog hose attachment. So on the very top of this is where, you know, you would attach your hose to it. And one of the things when I posted in the forum, the guy said, well, it works better if you use a 3/4 inch hose. Yeah, that's true. But if all you have is a 1/2 inch hose, this thing still works. I mean, okay, it works fine. And it will inflate against the pipe. It'll put lots of pressure going forward and hopefully blow that clog, I mean, out of the way. And they make these in different sizes. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay, so like I said, I mean, these can come in different sizes. You'll see down here where the boxes are highlighted. Now, I said I had two different types. One, that cloth material is made by a different manufacturer, but you can think, I mean, about what kind of pipes that you have that you're trying to free and open. I don't have a lot of experience with the large diameter pipes and using one of these, these unpluggers. But I've got the 1.5 to 3 inch. It has served all of my purposes, in the house fine, and it will work a lot of times. I mean, I can tell you it works all of the time. Depends on what your drain is plugged up or clogged up with, but it works great. Attach the hose. And there was even one of the comments that made by adapter where he could screw this onto his kitchen sink faucet and actually feed it down, through the pipe from the top down. Now, mine, no, the way my kitchen sink and everything is configured, it wouldn't work like that. I would have to come in under the sink. Not that it's a big deal. I would have to disassemble, some of the piping, slip the bladder and this device into it and turn the hose on. So it all depends on how your house is set up and how your plumbing is set up and stuff. But it's another handy tool, to have. Now, let me show you one other thing. We'll conclude the video. Okay, now this is the larger one, and I don't have experience with this one in particular. I have the one that I showed you out in the garage, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever I bought it. I've had it for 5, 6, 8 years. I mean, a long time. Still holding up well. This one, the difference is it's got that rubber material and it's meant for larger pipes, 3 inch to 6 inch. Do you need it? Probably a lot of times, not necessarily, and I don't know how good it works. Somebody can drop a comment below, let us know. Whenever I got into the larger kind of pipes, then I was looking at a machine, kind of a snake, and that's a whole different topic. I'm talking about fast, easy ways to unplug, clogs and stuff. But this is up here for completion's sake. If it's something that you're interested in trying or you have experience with it, definitely drop it in the comment below. Like I said, I don't. But of the 3 products, like I told you, I would definitely consider buying them. They are going to save you a lot of money, even if you don't use it for side work or anything. And if you do, it's a fast, easy thing. It's a fast way to make good money in minutes, really. Or it may take you a little longer if you're using one of these devices like here, but the other 2 devices, no. And a lot of times, I've used just the 2 simple ones that I showed you before we got into these, bladder unpluggers. But all of the things are worth considering. They will save you money. I keep harping on that because, the plumber and Roto-Rooter bills can be high for something that you can do in a matter of minutes yourself. So I hope you consider these. All of the links will be below. Okay, if you have questions, go ahead and ask me. I'll try to answer them. They're easy to use tools. Most of them made in the USA. I assume the zip tie looking, hair uncloggers are probably made in China. It doesn't matter in a way because they actually work well. So those are my thoughts on this, folks. I hope you click subscribe. I hope you keep following me. I hope you like the reviews. And hopefully I saved you some money. And I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.